All I know is win. All I know is win.
Yo, what's up? My name is Treasy, and to my left I have
Josh. What's up?
What's going on, guys? This show is called $100 Question.
Ding, 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 ding.
We're going to be answering weird questions. We're going to be talking about our lives. We're going to just be kind of exploring a little bit of some podcasting, and you're going to love it.
Yes.
I can promise you that. This is too far away. First things first. So, obviously, on our first podcast here, there's going to be some hiccups, some bumps, some technical difficulties, and all of the such. So if you know, like right now, if I'm just stuttering and it's not funny, we're going to go ahead and edit that out and say, fuck you. Trying to get my microphone situation. Now, I know why they fuck with these all the time.
All the time.
Like, my thing wants to just flip over. She just wants to do a flip. Make that money and do a backflip. All right. So first things first. Did you see Drake get booed off stage?
Yeah.
You actually did
jump
see
into
it?
that. Yeah.
So technically Drake was at Tyler the Creator's festival.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it's called. I forget what it's called. But anyways, Tyler the Creator has an eccentric fan base, I would say. He has a different type of fan base. It's not so much your Drake loving fans, first off. So, you know, they're expecting to get some surprise guest at the show, but it's Tyler the Creator's fans. You can't really like throw Drake at him. So I understand if it was any other fan base other than Tyler the Creator, I don't think he would have gotten booed. But basically, he gets up there and he's realizing that the crowd's not really following him, and he's like, well, do you want me to continue or what? And they kind of booed him, so he left.
Yeah, let's play a little bit of that clip here.
Do you have it? You want me to get it? I'll get it up. So, Tyler the Creator. Do you actually listen to Tyler the Creator?
Yeah, I've been fucking with him for a little bit. Some of his older stuff, his newer stuff is definitely interesting.
It is.
So it's
I like it. I think he deserves the respect. Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
All right. So he finishes the song, and there's a very slight to no reaction almost. Bring it close to the mic.
Oh no, I'll play it.
Oh, yeah, pump it up.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm here for you tonight. If you want to keep going, I will keep going tonight.
Kind of mixed, you know. It wasn't too much of just a boo.
Yeah, and they're kind of definitely mixed feelings on that.
That more sounded like a boo there.
Yeah, when I watched it, I couldn't really tell exactly from the boos, and I don't know if that's
I think that was it was kind of mixed. And you know what? I have something to say for Drake, man. Shouts out to Drake, bro. He's a true professional. If you get a reaction like that, especially being at the caliber of artist that he is, like 9 times out of 10, he's never going to get booed off stage. He's one of the biggest, hands down, maybe is the biggest artist in the world. You know, he handed it respectfully. He just was like, all right, much love. Have a good night, and then exit stage left like a true professional, man. I'd say he's a professional.
Did you hear the quote that he said? He's like, plot twist.
Oh yeah.
Just signed a 10-year residency at Camp Flog. What is that, Gras?
That's what the festival's called, Camp Flog Gras.
Sorry, kids. See you every single year till you're 30.
And you know, much love, bro. Clap back to Drake, bro. You know. It's just funny when fans try and act like that, man. Like, what is the purpose of booing somebody? What is that even gonna do? Like, that just makes. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, Tyler the Creator did say something about the situation. Let me see if I can find that here on Twitter real quick.
Yeah, that's super funny to really think about. It's you're getting paid no matter what. You get on stage, you already made it. You already have those M's in the bank.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, what is a boo gonna really?
Nothing.
To you as a person?
And if anything, it made him actually look better. I'd say it made Drake look like he, you know, just knows how to handle his shit. Like, I don't think he took an L on that at all. I mean, yeah, if anything, people are talking about it. We're talking about it. Everyone's talking about it. So
no, he did handle that really well. I mean,
I'd say he did.
Like, he was respectful back, which I think is you don't see that all the time. I mean, Lil Wayne when he went on with Blink-182. He was just like, oh, he just like went off on the Blink
Wait.
fans.
Oh, I actually don't know if I know what you're talking about.
Did you not hear about that?
How long ago?
So this would have been like 6 months ago when
I don't think I
Blink
heard about
182 was going on tour.
Yeah.
And so they just weren't having that. I'm pretty sure it was Blink 182.
Huh.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
super interesting with that.
So, back to the Tyler thing. Tyler the Creator, again, that is Camp Flog Gnaw. It's the event that, again, Drake was booed at. So, Tyler tweeted on Monday, he says, I thought bringing one of the biggest artists on the fucking planet to a music festival was fire, but flip side, a little tone deaf, knowing the specific crowd drew. Some created a narrative in their head and acted out like assholes when it didn't come through, and I don't fuck with that. Basically, I'm pretty sure that they're talking about, so when they in this festival they said they're gonna have a surprise guest, and I'm pretty sure that everyone got in their mind for some reason that it was gonna be somebody else, and like that's where all of this whole drama came from. I don't think it's the fact that they didn't even like Drake. I think it was more that they wanted to see this other artist. What was it, Wale or who was it? I forget what the artist was. Let's see.
So they already had pre-expectations.
Yeah,
for-
they were already feeling like yeah, I'm not sure who it was. I wish I would have been able to remember, done my research a little better on this one. But, we can go ahead and switch topics up, man.
Switch gears.
I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. I hate to say it, and it sounds creepy as hell, but one of my favorite things is serial killers, man. Like, not favorite things ever. Like, I don't love them like that, but it's just fascinating to me to learn about what goes through these people's minds and like stuff. So, I got a quick little story on my behalf, at least. I was dating this girl when I was like 18, 19 years old, and her dad was a drug cop. He was a not DEA, but he was a drug investigator. Like, he would do all sorts of different things for, I don't know exactly what his title or name or lieutenant, whatever the fuck they actually are. But anyways, so he would get first dibs on cars and things like that, right? So at the time I was really into cars, and so he had this shop over in Post Falls, right? And during this time we had a serial killer in Spokane by the name of Robert Yates. Do you remember who Robert Yates was?
Yeah.
Was it like 16 women he murdered brutally?
Yeah.
Prostitutes?
That was
So-
going on for a while too.
Right. So mind you, that's when this was all getting wrapped up. So he gets this new Corvette, right? He buys this car and he's like, oh, check out this Corvette that I just bought. It was a white Corvette, 72, 73, I believe. Or maybe even a 68, right in those years. And the eerie thing about this car was when you open up the door and you look inside on the inside of the car, there was all these Sharpie marks that were circling little things, and I was like, what the heck is this, And I asked him, I was like, what are all these little Sharpie marks? He goes, that's from the evidence. I was like, the evidence? He's like, yeah, this was Robert Yates's car, and that's all circling like blood and like, yeah, just like one of the craziest things ever. Like, the feeling that you get when you know that is crazy. So I guess that leads me to my question, for you. If you had the chance, would you buy a car or a house that was owned by a murderer before, or should that be something that you just don't do? I don't know, man. I don't think I could do it. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah. So I mean, personally, just like having like a car. Like, for example, that was owned by a murderer. How dope of a story would that be in the first place to be able to, like start conversations like, oh yeah, by the way.
It's true.
Like,
I think it teeters. It teeters on like the dope and like sketchy side, because it's super cool, but it's also like, man, you own I don't know. I guess the thing that gets me is I feel like if I'm somebody that feels like vibes and mindsets. So it's like, when I sit behind that and know that he did that, it's like, oh my God, that's what I think about, I think I'd overthink it.
well, I mean, like, do you get a good deal on this car? Like, is it like cheap because there's blood splatter everywhere?
That's a good point.
I mean, do you just have to bring it over to a car detailing shop and then hope for the best?
This specific one, he got it at a an impound lot, so he got it at an auction.
That's
But
crazy.
it wasn't. Yeah, that's a good question. Do you think that things should be discounted if they have had murders, or
I mean, like whenever you like, I know back in the day when you get like a can of food and have a little dent in it, you'd get like
Get a
you
little
know,
discount.
You get a little discount. So you know,
okay? But like, is it okay? So like, well, here's the thing: is a random murder, like let's say like Billy Bob from Kansas kills Sally, or is it like Ted Bundy's house?
yeah,
You know what I'm
right?
saying?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
like if it's Ted Bundy's house, maybe it's worth money.
Yeah, because you know that's definitely like a hot topic. I mean,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, it
it's-
depends on the communities you're in too. Like,
That's true.
Like, I mean, some people like.
Some people are into that shit.
Yeah, exactly,
Some
yeah.
people are definitely into that.
Are
What do
you
you
into
guys
it?
think?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Are you guys into
Leave a comment down below. Would you buy a house or a car that a murderer or a murder has occurred in? Is that something you would
And then
pay
why?
more for?
Why? I want to know why.
I want to know why
I
too.
don't know why.
I mean, okay, so here's the thing. I would probably say I would buy a car, but I don't think I could live in a house. Like a car is something you could switch out, have another car, only drive it once in a while, and it's like that's one thing. But like sitting in a house knowing that someone was murdered in that house to me is just I would overthink it. I couldn't do it.
Well, yeah, definitely, especially like multiple murders. So, I mean, so for example, it's not the original house, right?
Oh,
But,
oh no, you're gonna bring. Oh,
Yeah.
there we go, man. So there has been a few times where, I mean, obviously, right, where people have had to buy murderers' houses.
Yeah, and so I mean, I think one of the good ones, or maybe not good ones, one of the, the
The scarier
one of the scarier ones would be John Gacy's property, which
John Wayne Gacy.
33. So he
When
killed
did this
33 boys and men, buried the majority of the victims under and around the house. So
Jeez.
4 of the bodies were thrown into the river around that area.
Oh my gosh! So only 4 of the bodies were thrown out, and the rest he just stacked his house on top
Yeah,
of.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, so imagine like
When did this happen?
So this happened. When was this? This was 1980. Oh no, That's that-
1980?
No. This is when it was.
1970s, right? I think 1979.
So it was torn down in 1979. I'm looking on.
Oh, the
right now
house
for
was
the
torn
date.
down in 1979.
Okay, so yeah, so it was 1970s.
Wow.
Yeah, is when all this went down.
You know what? I feel like I don't know if this is just me, but I feel like the 70s and 80s and even part of the 90s were just so crazy for murder. Like that was like such an insane time because now, I mean, we have a lot of murder, but it's more like different techie murders and shit. You know, like
Yeah,
back then they were like so sophisticated and like I remember the one that stands out to me since we're on murderers. One of the ones that stands out to me, they just made a series on Netflix about the guy. What's his name? Ed Kemper. That's what his name is. So Ed Kemper, you know, they have this interview with him, and I feel like everyone should watch it. It's so crazy. This guy had like the highest IQ ever. He turned himself in. He did not get caught, and he taunted the police. Like he literally would. And then there's the Zodiac killer, where he mailed in an extremely sophisticated cipher of all these different directions and claiming all these murders and all these crazy things. I just think that's insane. Like that, we just don't have murders like that. It's all impulse or like. You can't really do it, I guess, nowadays to where like the way that they did, because they would leave like we didn't have like we couldn't trace things.
Yeah.
We didn't have the same type of like, you know what I mean?
not everyone was carrying around a cell phone in their pocket that could
Exactly.
like trace where they were. So they could
Speaking
run
of that,
yeah.
man, I'm not even gonna get on that topic, but like I was
Yo.
gonna say. The fact that all of you guys have a cell phone in your pocket, which has all of mankind's knowledge on it, and you play face swap with it, kind of just makes a little bit of my heart die. So fuck you guys.
all of the information in the world at your hands.
And you play fucking face swap.
Yeah.
Face swap.
What are you guys doing?
Probably Snapchatting each other's buttholes right now. You little sex-driven, cult-minded fuckers you are.
Heathens.
Smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the little bell right now. All right,
Right there.
so, you know, speaking of cars, man, you know, sometimes we don't always get to drive our car. Sometimes we got to take Uber. And I don't know. I guess I'm weird. All right. So when
Yeah,
I get in the Uber, I get into the front seat of the Uber. And this is only because of the way that I think, right? I think that if someone sits behind me in a fucking car and it's just me and them, I feel like they're gonna strangle me the whole fucking time. And I know, that that's a little irrational, but it's like, man, why are you sitting behind me? Of all the places that you could have picked to go, and now you're gonna just sit right behind me.
I totally get that too, but it's like, for me, it's like I'm paying for a service. That's like what I really, really am trying to.
That's true.
I'm you
want to be as comfortable as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Back seat's nice. And you're less obligated to have a conversation. I don't really want to.
That's a good point. Maybe, and maybe that's part of like why I am wanting to sit in front in the first place, is because I kind of maybe like having those conversations.
Yeah, and I didn't even think about that. Like there's a lot of people you want to be able to have a conversation. Especially like let's say you're going to a show or something and you don't want to just be quiet in the back.
Right.
If you are taking an Uber,
well, and it's in that, and that's the thing about, like, for me, I like to have interactions with people, and like, and I guess that goes to personality. That's like why people sit in the front and the back, I guess, is right there. I guess that we just broke it. We've fucking answered that one. But people have different personalities, and I always wondered, I was like, man, why doesn't everyone think the same way? Well, we all think different,
And and thinking
we're all different.
We're all a little bit different, And on that
Speaking
topic,
of different, look at my cat.
Everyone's
perfectly hiding right behind me. Everyone's at Ernie. Comment Ernie right now.
Yeah. Speaking of Ubers, there's definitely some horror stories that have gone down.
Oh
with
my gosh.
Uber. And
I have irrational thoughts about horror stories happening in Ubers all the time. But then to find out they're fucking true. Man, like, I was reading one online about how there was somebody that was anti-gay, anti-this and that, and like literally fucking choked out a gay person on an Uber. That makes me think that they should have some kind of like system where it's like you type out like what or who you are, and it starts to like, okay, you can't ride with this Nazi from fucking
So basically,
Topanga.
you're putting in like your political views and race.
Yeah.
And it's gonna match you with someone that's okay with that.
I just think that should be a lot of things in life, because everyone's such like, they're so soft and so scared about everything, and they need everything to be so comfortable that like, yeah, you might as well put that out there. Because think about it this way. If you get, let's say a Proud Boy is driving Uber, right? And they're going and picking up someone, let's say on the far left, that would be opposing them. Don't you think that is going to be an issue? Or let's say we have a Nazi driving and goes and picks up a group of 2 Mexican females. I mean, come on. There's a lot of things that like I feel like could be avoided. And
that probably happens a lot. But if like you got to think, it's kind of like if you're at like a regular job, you kind of have to put your differences away to make that money.
Right, but at a regular job, right? Your interactions a lot of the time aren't just stuck with you being in a box and just like talking to that person, because basically that's all you can do when you're in a car and in an Uber with somebody is communicate.
So if you're a racist, pick a different job.
I agree. I'm not saying
like
just that. I'm not saying just racist,
not
right?
Just racism.
Racist
Okay,
was
that's
an
like
example.
a little bit of a
extreme example, right?
Yeah.
But let's say a Christian driver gets in with some partiers.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Let's say the most obvious one. That's the most obvious one, right?
So are you going to sit there and just let them talk about how drunk they are, and
exactly,
smoking weed and doing cocaine?
And should you be able to, because it is your workplace?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That is.
So you have rights.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is where Uber is very interesting as a thing, because there's this no man's land zone where it's like, okay, well, I mean, you're working for a company, but whatever happens is on the person. I mean, so like it's an interesting thing. Ride shares are interesting.
And
I think the responsibility lies on the both parties, but mainly on the people getting picked up, because it's like you're paying somebody for this. So it's like if you have an issue with like how that person wants to operate their car, then get a different ride.
Well, and then how many strikes do you get as an Uber driver? Like that, I'm curious about that. So like when someone complains about your calls, I know with 1 stars it takes about 500 5 stars just to get back up or something, 100.
I know that it means a lot. Like getting a strike actually affects a lot of like what, you know, who you're able to get picked up. I think that if you lose stars, you can only pick up people with those
Low stars,
lower
yeah.
stars or whatever.
What up? I'm a 5-star
Which are like
rider.
the shit. Which he's a pro fucking Uber rider, bro.
Yeah, geez. I could put my kid through. I don't have a kid, but I could definitely send him to college right now with as much money as I put on Uber.
Yo, so I was actually talking to the homie the other day, and he was in a very serious relationship for about 2 years, and
man.
they literally they did everything together and were 100% in love. I tell you what, but she broke up with him over a text, and I think this is a big breaking up with someone over a text is like very common in our day and age.
I'm not. I'm not going to say that I haven't.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Let's hear this.
Yeah. So
Let's hear this.
Oh, man.
I didn't even know this.
Yeah. So I'm not going to drop any names.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, probably a good idea. But we were seeing each other for about 2 months, and things were happening, things were going, and then I just heard some information, and I just really didn't even want to sit there and go to the person, and and it's call it being coward, call it whatever, but I mean personally, I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. It wasn't on my top priority.
How old were you?
I mean, this was like.
Maybe not, because then they could put the timeline together, huh?
Yeah, no, I mean, this was like.
Was it a while?
6 months ago.
This was recent.
Yeah,
recently.
yeah. I mean, so what's your opinion on that? Like, I mean, come on, like 2 months, like
yeah, I think that the level of respect for that goes with the level of seriousness. For me, if it's somebody that if it's not very serious, but then again. I get kind of deep quick, so I get pretty serious quick.
Yeah.
But if it's something I'm not getting serious with or doing seeing any future with, I definitely don't care as much, But I think for me, I'm very much an in-person type of person. Like, I want to have closure. I'm like that. I'm a little baby. I want to have a conversation and be like, look, we need to talk about why or whatever. I need to just know why, I'm such a closure person. Like, and I think that needs to be done in person. And maybe it's just because I want that person to prove to me that they really actually mean the shit they're texting. I think that's it, because it's like you can text anything you want and just be like, bam, and without really thinking.
And then you never have to reply. You don't even have to open a message. You can block that number. You can block the number.
Exactly.
Never deal with it again.
That's why I think
Facebook.
That's why I think in person is something that I need, because it's without that, I don't believe you. It's say that shit to my face. Tell me to my face.
Closure is a big thing, especially multiple year relationships.
Absolutely.
It's kind of you're just left in a void. I've been there personally.
Absolutely.
You're just kind of what's going on? Why? What happened? Everything was great. It's kind of it's if you're working at a job and they're saying, hey, you're doing a great job every single day, and then all of a sudden you just get fired.
Yeah, exactly. I think that with relationships, especially texting is just the being comfortable. Everybody nowadays is just so on this oh, well, I just want to be comfortable. I just want it to be easy or da 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 da. And it's man, show the person a little bit of respect and talk to them in person. And
relationships aren't. If relationships were so easy, they would. I think
everybody would have
everyone
one.
would have one. Yeah, but people choose to not have one, or maybe some people just are not, can't do it. By myself, it's definitely difficult nowadays.
I mean, me too. I think relationships are tricky, especially nowadays. We live in a generation where we've grown up thinking and believing that everyone is an option, pretty much. A sex-driven culture that has basically a social ranking system, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that shit, you're counting views, and it gives people self-esteem issues. And it also creates this issue with having people to commit to each other, because You have all these people that have 35, 40 people in their inbox all time. You have all these other apps to go and find hookups and all this shit where you don't have to commit to somebody.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's the problem is like everyone thinks that it's just an option. Oh, well, I'll just find somebody else, you know, in my inbox, which is like, okay, cool. But we're so connected now. There's so many people connected that it's like everyone's an option, and that's really shitty.
It's super easy to like leave someone like feeling like alone, or you know, it's you
Right.
you have so much stuff going on, or you know, it's I don't think people realize like if you do get in a relationship, like the majority of your time is spent with that person.
Absolutely.
And you know, and with trust is like a huge thing, right? And I mean, if you're not trusting somebody, that can be damaging on a relationship in itself in the beginning. Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, I have stories. You know, this one girl I was with, she, it was so bad. It was so bad. Like every now and then I'd be getting off work and she'd be sitting outside in the car. Like, and I drove to work, so she would drive over just for that. And that really was stressful in the relationship itself. It's like, you know, obviously, you know, I haven't been in that damaging of relationship to the point where, you know, I felt the need to stalk my girlfriend.
Yeah.
But, you know, and that in itself is it's definitely is mind blowing. It's like, so do you just like sit that out and say, you know, and be understanding, or, you know, is that?
I mean, I think that's what it takes. Yeah, you got now. I mean, I don't know. That's actually it's hard to answer that. You know, I think that a lot of people are damaged nowadays too. I think the amount of damage that's done by other people really affects how even good people, you know, like for me, I always want to say like I'm a good person because I've never cheated on somebody. I want to say like I'm a good person because like I've never hit a girl or anything like that, right? So it's like those things make me feel like I have a ton to offer with love and all these things, but I've been cheated on and I've been abused and I've had knives and shit pulled on me. So it's made me look at females in a different way, you know, to where all of them are just out to get me and which is irrational, but at the same time it's not, because all of the females I've been with, most besides a couple, have pretty much been the exact same way. So what I'm saying is even the good people, quote unquote good people, that are hurt by quote unquote bad people will turn into those bad people. And I think that's where the main issue lies, is there's a lot of good people, but they get in enough bad relationships, then they're not going to, believe me, you're not going to want to trust people. And like, I have trust. That was my first tattoo actually on my chest right here. Trust. Because I have major trust issues with people. Like, I just don't trust people. And a lot of people have proven to me why, you know. I think trust is huge in our society too. We have a society full of liars, you know. Politicians and everyone else is built on lying. So it's like it's built into our system as a whole.
So what's the final verdict on this? Text messaging, breaking
Shit,
up.
we did kind of go down a rabbit hole.
We spiraled on this one a
but
little
that's
bit.
okay. That's okay, because I think that talking about, you know, relationships is something that, you know,
that's part of it.
It is. I think that's a lot of what goes on here is the respect level. I think that it's not okay, but I think that's where that's what comes down to is a lot of the people that break up with text messages are the same type of people that are waiting there with other people in their inboxes.
Yeah, exactly.
They already
Yeah.
have
Or
one
they're
foot
already-
out of the relationship and one foot in, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Those doors aren't shut. I definitely agree with that there. I mean, if you're going to sit there and have, you know, break up over text message, you know, like I said, I've done that before, you know, it's in the end, it's like, I wanted something else. If you're wanting something else,
Absolutely.
like you're obviously not dedicated. It's not secret. And then don't pull that, you know, it's not you, it's me. You're
Of
breaking over
course.
text message. That's
course.
wild. That's wild. So we
That
have
was
a
Gorilla
couple.
Glue number 4 for anybody asking what I was just hitting right there. Gorilla Glue number 4. Man, you were segueing into something. What were you saying?
Well, I was kind of just going to jump into, so we have a few text message breakups.
Oh man,
should we jump into this?
Let's get in. I snuck ahead and read some of them just because I wanted to know. So now we have some examples of breaking up over text. I'm going to be one character and Josh is going to be the other. Also, Ernie decided to jump up here and say what's up to you guys. This little guy, his name is Ernesto Chavez. Get it right? He also has a Instagram. It should pop up somewhere up here. All right, so let's jump right into it. Let's find the
we have
funny
these
ones.
we have these little backstories too that they
There's a
throw
little
along.
there's a little backstory on the text, like what happened in the situation, and then there's the text itself. So here it is. We dated for over a year. He broke up with me on our anniversary. Tried to make it clear he wanted to leave because of his unhappiness, not because of another girl. Then proceeded to go out with the one girl I was always told not to worry about 2 weeks later. My goodness. All right. Starts off like this. Hey, I got a question.
I don't want to hear it.
Seriously? That's mean. I'm going to ask anyway. Do you still care about me as a person?
Yes. Now go. Just go. Just go. That's
Bye.
wild. That's wild. I mean,
That was crazy.
How would you handle that?
Man, there's not a lot to say about that. Whoever just says it like that, like, oh, I care about you as a person, and then they go, I do, no go. That's just emotionless, and I think that's fucked up, and I would probably slap them.
Agreed.
All right.
Let's jump into the next one here.
The next one. What scares me is that I'm going to spend the rest of my life chasing the high that he gave me.
Ooh.
All right, this is kind of weird because it's broken, so it starts off weird, but it goes, which is fine. I'm over it.
You belong in my life.
But I thought you should know.
I'm positive about that. If I had it if I had it my way, you wouldn't be just a memory of the last 2 nights I was there. I wish I could still be there with you.
No, you don't, Justin, which is fine.
I really do, though.
What? Some of these are ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, let's just do this one more. This one has a really long backstory, but it's super funny. All right. He was my best friend all throughout middle school. We saw each other at least 6 days a week. 6 days a week for years before we went to the same small school and same church. Freshman year of high school, he made a bunch of new friends and started talking to me less and less. Sophomore year, I was accepted into the residential high school. And every time I came home, he asked me if I was going to come back to our home high school. People from my high school stopped talking to me, and I was desperate for a friend over the school's breaks, but he continued to avoid me. This was my last attempt to talk to him before my senior year. I knew that once we left for college, there would be almost no chance for us to be reconnecting. It still makes me sad to think about the way the friend, practically brother, that I lost. I guess he meant more to me than I meant to him. This is what I said. Do you have any plans this weekend? Oh, and this is...
Sorry. I'm in Tunica, Mississippi.
It's fine. Have fun.
That's wild. That's all that gets said in that.
One wasn't as funny as I thought it was.
No, but it's still good. It's still good. Come on.
All right.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. All right, this is the last one, all right? I blocked him. Oh, and I'm still dating that boyfriend of mine who hasn't proved me I'm right. All right? So it says, someday you wish you'd listen to me. Stupid girl, you have no fucking clue what's out there, and you're content you're content with this bullshit. Ask more of life.
This is stupid. Bye.
Grow the fuck up and quit wasting your life with those parasites. Bye. And your boyfriend feels like being a big man. He can come and find me and say this shit to my face. That guy you're dating is going to let you down. Come back when he proves me right.
Wow.
And again, I blocked him. Oh, and that boyfriend, I'm still dating him. Jokes on you, bitch.
That's a happy ending.
Happy ending too. Happy ending for one of them at least. You know,
definitely for one of them.
Like at least one of them had the audacity to not message a bunch of bullshit.
Man, it makes me reading these, hearing these makes me feel good about
What?
about, how I've handled situations. It hasn't been that deep, that aggressive,
Yeah, right.
that abrasive.
That's true. See, handling situations, again, going back to how Drake handled his getting booed off stage was very good. I luckily haven't gotten booed off stage. Like,
Yeah, you haven't.
yeah, that's true. I mean, maybe it's just because I'm not big enough to get booed off stage.
I mean, I'm
5'11", if anyone, 6 foot, if any of the ladies are listening.
Yeah, 6 foot for ladies.
Again, okay, so this is a question that I've had for a really long time.
Yeah,
man.
I think I know where you're
All
going
right?
with this. Yeah.
So, by definition, I am 5'11" and a half. Okay, so sometimes when I go to the doctor, I get checked and they tell me I'm 5'11". A couple of times that I've been checked and they've told me that I'm 6 foot tall. Right. So sometimes, we've all used these dating apps, maybe the Tinder, maybe the Plenty of Fish apps.
Grinder, if you're into that.
The Grinder, right? And you gotta put a height on there. And I've actually talked to a couple of girls about this too, which is just the funniest thing, right? What is the big deal? Okay, this is the question right here. Let's talk about it. What is the big deal with 5'11" versus 6 foot tall? And I get that it's two different numbers, right? But listen, like, I'm 5'11" and a half. I'm right in between. If I tell a girl I'm 5'11", I get blocked. I get deleted. I get shit on. But yet, now if I tell a girl I'm 6 foot tall, my DMs are blowing up. It's like, damn, he's tall as the fucking Great Wall of China. It's like fucking ridiculous, yo. 5'11" and 6 foot tall are pretty much the same thing, but to a female, they're not the same fucking thing.
Is that the same kind of people that are like, no, it's not $500, it's only $499.
Kind of, yeah. But it's funny because I've talked to girls about it, and like a couple of them are like, oh, I don't care about it. But here's another story. There's this one girl, like, this was probably like 4 years ago or so, and I had I met her 1 or 2 times, and she was super beautiful, and like, I don't know, I had this like weird kind of crush on her, and like for some reason her friend told her that I was 5'5". And she never fucked with me. She always thought I was 5'5", and I was like, why won't you talk to me? She's like, I thought you were 5'5". It matters that much. Like, height matters a lot, but it's crazy how a 5'11" and 6 foot. It really is one of those things that like cracks me up. But
so if you're super tall, right, and you're like 7 foot.
how tall are you?
So I'm 6'3".
So you are tall.
Yeah. So when I get asked, normally that's just like, oh man, you're tall.
Yeah, you're
it's
tall.
Oh man, you're so tall, and it's like, to think about that, like, that's only a 3.5 inch difference in height, which is really nothing.
But it's enough.
But it's enough, and it
visually looks like it's a decent amount.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm looking up to you at all times, pretty much, and like, I don't know. I think that 6'3" I know another 6'3" person, and they seem super tall to me too.
Yeah. Well, it's like I should be a basketball player probably, but
on the short end. Basketball players like 6'5" to 7 foot.
So like for a basketball player, if they're like 7 foot, like if they want to hit it with the ladies, do they just say they're 6'12"? I'm 6'12". So
yeah, and I'm not 7 foot.
I'm not 7
nah,
foot.
man, you say you're 7 feet. Females are dropping their pants. Fucking smash me in the bathroom.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Like, girls are they want to be dominated, man, and like they want to be dominated by a fucking 6'12" motherfucking
just some fucking ogre.
A fucking ogre, maybe not. An ogre just reminds me, like, for some reason, of just green slime.
Yeah, I think
snotty green slime.
Oh no!
Man,
get out of the swamp, man.
Man,
get out of the swamp.
Speaking of snotty green slime, man, there's this girl back in college that I used to fuck with, and she had some shit that looked like some slimy green slime.
No. Tell me about it. What's up?
All right, it wasn't so much that. It was more the smell. So what happened? It wasn't even in college, actually. It was actually in high school, and I was at a party. It was horrible, right? Like, so I got drunk. I ended up convincing this girl to sneak up to her parents' bedroom out of the party, and we were getting ready to get down. But for some reason, she had the worst stink, bro. Like, it wasn't her pussy. It was definitely some ass juice.
Oh. Ooh.
So I smell this, and like it wasn't like we were full on naked fucking or anything. It was just like I like pulled her pants down, and we're just like doggy style.
Yeah.
And so, but I get this whiff of just dead bird mixed with shit piled with like a fucking rotten banana.
And you're like ready to retreat at this point.
Oh, I did.
Gone.
I did retreat. I
Out.
pulled out. I zipped my shit up, and I fucking opened up the door and started yelling. And I was like,
So,
"Get the
like-
fuck!" I was yelling at her, and this was at her friend's house. Her friend's like was the ones that was hosting the party.
That's wild.
And I fucking went in front of everybody at the entire party. I started screaming. I was like, "You smell like fucking shit! Like you're fucking nasty!" Kicked her out of the party because I was a horrible person. Then.
Yeah,
Again, I'm
that's-
not like that now.
that's so
But for
wild.
real, bro, in front of everybody,
Damn.
I fucking. I made her feel horrible, but like then again, don't go show up to a party after fucking having diarrhea for having a serious case that she should have been hospitalized. That shit smelled like
And,
fucking
Dude, they
death.
carry little wet wipes. You know, if you got a stinky butt, you can carry these little things with you. You know, they smell like lavender. You can get unscented if you're one of those people. And you know, just wipe that up.
Lavender.
You know, but before you try to trap a dude,
I mean, come on, like just wipe your ass,
just wipe
people.
it. Just wipe
That's
your ass.
you know, I mean, I guess I give her credit. We were in high school, but
Oh, come
you
on,
should know-
high school. Oh yeah, no, you know
you
that
should
high school.
you should know how
hygiene.
to wipe your ass in high school. I feel like.
Yeah, especially with that one ply that they got in the schools.
Oh my god! Hey, you know what? Here's another topic:
Yeah,
toilet paper.
toilet paper.
I'm serious, right?
ply,
so
free ply.
if you guys
Hands down.
slack on toilet paper, I fucking hate you. If I go over to your house, and take a shit, which is pretty much never, because I know that I want to take a shit at my house with my nice toilet paper. But if I go to your house and let's say we're hanging out and I end up staying the night and I gotta take a morning shit, right? I get in there and you got some garbage ass toilet paper. I'm gonna be
sandpaper.
fucking. I'm gonna use your nice towel.
You're gonna
okay?
use your little
I'm gonna use the dustpan, the towel, and the fucking Febreze bottle because I'm not gonna wipe myself with cardboard.
God forbid your loofah's in there.
Oh man, those feel so good. I'd rather use a loofah.
Yeah,
Speaking of that, have you ever had a bidet?
a bidet.
Have you ever had a
no.
butt spray from the bidet?
No, I was always curious. Is that like warm water or cold water?
It's kind of warm. I've had it. My dad was a plumber, so he was able to like. It was funny because he would install these things, right?
Yeah.
And everyone that think like that used to get them, they know what they are. Obviously, he sprays your ass out with water. But when he'd install them, they're brand new, and like the type of water that goes through is the same as like the tap water.
Yeah.
So he would like invite them to come look at it, and he would drink out of the bidet, drink water out of the
that's
bidet.
so
And people would start freaking out and be like, "What? Ew!" Da, da, da. And he's like, "What? It's not like you sat on it or done anything to it yet."
So
It's
like
just funny.
so what if it's just like whatever the highest your water temperature goes to, and you just burn your asshole?
that would be horrible.
Is that something that like can happen? You just burn your asshole.
You know, speaking of asshole and bowel movement, right?
Yeah.
When I used
I'm
to live
interested.
when I used to live in Newport Beach in California, I worked for a moving company. It was like a super illegal under the table company. These guys from Russia moved to OC and they had this movie company, and I was working under the table, driving, mind you. I was driving a huge ass truck, and I lied. I had never driven a big ass truck before.
You're just like, yeah,
I'm
no,
the lead-
totally.
yeah, no, for real. I'm not even playing. I was the lead driver, and mind you, I did a really good job.
Yeah.
I was able to back these fucking trucks in between huge apartment complexes in California.
Oh, that's wild.
It was nuts. So one of the jobs we got, right, was Ryan Sheckler. Shout out to you, Ryan Sheckler, if you're watching this, because you're gonna like this
Like
story.
and subscribe, Ryan.
And I know that you don't know about it. So I'm working for the movie company probably at this point for, I want to say like 2 months, right?
Yeah.
And it was good money. I was making $21 an hour under the table, and I was working lots. I was working like a normal day would be. It depended on if we want to take the second job, right? We usually get one, which would be like 8.5 hours to move the first house. Then we get like a smaller house. It'd be like maybe like a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartment, right? Which would be like a 4-hour job. So I was working like 12 hours or 15 hours some days, and I'm making lots of money. And then the overtime, it was just lots of money, right? I was making lots of money. So at this point, we get this job that's it's really far south. So I ended up getting extra driving money, but I didn't know where the place was. It was in, where is it fucking at? I forget what it was called. I'll remember by the end of the story. But anyway, so we drive down there, right? And the first thing I see is a ramp that says locals only. And I was like, interesting. I didn't know at that point who it was or anything. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And it's in this super, super, super millionaire nice ass area. And I'm like, man, this has to be somebody important, right? And so like their manager or whoever it was that was like our contact, I pull up there, pull the truck up, and he's talking to us, and he's like, everything needs to be like accounted for and very like secure. And he's acting all weird. Like I've never been told that, oh, you need to number all the boxes and all this shit, you know?
Yeah.
And
That's
so.
wild.
And so now I'm looking at it like, okay, this is definitely somebody, you know, important.
Yeah.
And like, so we start moving all this stuff out of the garage, and I start seeing Ryan Sheckler all over all of these things. Ryan Sheckler. So I'm looking at all these pictures and like, man, mind you, you're lucky because all I wanted to do was take a bunch of fucking skateboards and sign shit, and you weren't even nowhere to be found, which makes me mad that I didn't get to meet you either. But anyways, so I fucking am talking to this guy. I'm like, bro, whose house is this? And he's like not wanting to say anything. I'm like, dog, whose house is this?
And he
like,
knows you probably already know from everything.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly.
like
Because there's like pictures of him when he was like super young.
Yeah.
And like skate on the cover of magazines and shit. Like he's been doing this shit forever.
posters of him on the wall.
Well, no, everything was everything was in boxes.
Oh yeah, boxes.
Everything was boxes. So fucking. We move everything up there, and then finally I'm like, bro, I need to know whose stuff this is. Like we're moving it. He's like, it's Ryan Sheckler's. And he tells me, he's like, oh, we're going to have a car follow the truck. And I'm like, that's not our policy, which he didn't end up doing it. I could have like stopped at any point and grabbed your shit, by the way, which I didn't.
Yeah.
But I still have your new address because I moved your shit to it. Anyways, so we move everything to the new house, and I'm going to equate this to shit in a second. Don't worry. Okay. There was a reason why I said this is about shit. So we move everything from his old house to his new house. When we get the new house, a lot of the stuff's already there, like his new cars are there, and he has this savage Mercedes like that. They only made a few of them. It's like a V12 bi-turbo, this crazy ass fucking thing. And yeah, his manager like moved it and started. I was sounding like a fucking jet, dude. It was so cool. But I guess he was really into surfing, so he moved right next to the beach and had all like a huge garage with all these surfboards and stuff. But anyways, the funny part of this story is. The first thing that's funny is he wanted us to move a gazebo, a sauna from his old house, his old house was like only 2 or 3 levels. This new house was like 5 levels. It was a lot smaller, but it was like stretched out, you know?
Wow.
And I was like, we can't. I was telling his manager, we can't do it. Like, it won't fit up there. And so like, all these things. He had this like massage chair that was huge, trying to move all these crazy heavy things up into this house. Anyways, they don't tip us at all. Not a single dollar.
Wow.
And so I'm mad, right? So I go back in there. I'm like, I gotta use the bathroom. So I go back into I go back into Ryan Sheckler's main master bathroom. Then it was this brand new place, mind you, brand new house. Nothing's in it.
Fuck.
And this is before they locked everything. I was like, oh, I forgot to drop off a box. I just made some bullshit. I just literally got a fucking box out of the back that had nothing in it. Move it in there. Take a fat shit. I mean, the equivalent of fucking NASA's first project
The
of
king
a shit.
of all shits.
The fucking ace. The fucking deuce of all aces, man. Anyways, I take this fat shit and leave it, and I didn't flush it, and I'm actually kind of proud of that because you fucking assholes didn't tip me a single dollar, and we worked like 14 fucking hours moving the heaviest shit, doing all this extra little petty shit for you, and you didn't tip me. And I know you guys are fucking millionaires. That's the other thing that pisses me off. I was working my ass off for fucking under the table money.
And it probably was like one of the cheaper services.
It was
like
the cheapest. That's why they used it, because they're little cheap asses. But the thing is like we're real people too. I need some of your fucking Sheckler money or skateboard money, bro. You're lucky I didn't take a fucking skateboard from you. Next time I see you on the street, I'm taking your skateboard.
It's not just going to be a shit in your toilet. It's gonna be
there will be shit in your face.
There'll be shit in your face. Skateboard gone.
California has just given me so many great stories.
Man, and I'm excited to hear some more of those too. Yeah,
that was fun. The Sheckler one was fun.
Yeah, we're gonna hear a lot more.
Absolutely. I think that's what this is going to be a lot of. This content is going to be a lot of us kind of just sharing some of our experiences with things because we both have had some fun experiences with different things, and I like reacting to certain topics. And
if you guys,
kind of fun.
if you guys have any topics,
Leave
questions, leave them below.
Subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Go ahead and follow Josh and me on our Instagrams right now.
Pop them up somewhere around here.
Treasy509. Treasy509.
Yeah.
And we're going to somehow get some kind of a little giveaway, whether that be just maybe a cool little merch design t-shirt or whatever.
Why don't you get one of those, one of your sweatshirts, something real quick. Flash it up on the screen.
What?
One of your shirts. One of your sweatshirts. Something.
My
flash
merch?
It up. Yeah.
Well, that one's not released yet to the public,
Oh,
so...
you guys, if we get enough
How about
likes...
this? How about if we get 100 likes, which is a shitload,
yeah, 100
which I
likes.
don't think will happen.
This
Let's
is
say
our
50.
first one right now. 50?
Let's say 50.
Let's say 50. We're
If we
starting
get
off
50
slow.
likes, and you guys go and follow our Instagrams and subscribe to this channel, you'll be entered in to see who gets to win the free first. I don't even want to say what it's called.
Yeah, no.
But
you'll find out.
you'll get it. You'll get
You're definitely going to find
a
out.
prototype hoodie, and I can tell you right now, everybody's been wanting these hoodies. Yeah, we'll figure out a little bit of more what's going on with the giveaways and stuff, because I think the giving away stuff is fun.
Yeah.
And I think that shows a lot about it's just who we are, man. Like I give away a lot of free merch on stage. I like giving shit away to people that like the content and like what we're doing. So
Yeah, and I'll give you guys my love and my devotion.
his beautiful face.
My beautiful face. This whatever you want to call it.
He'll give you a mustache ride.
Mustache ride.
The thing about Josh you need to know is that mustache will tickle you in all the wrong places. But you know what? You like
It'll
it.
so right. It'll feel so right.
It's so wrong that you'll feel right about it.
Yeah.
All right, man. So my name's Treasy.
My name's Josh.
This has been the $100 question.
The $100 question.
If you have a $100 question, $1 million question, or even $1 billion question, go ahead and type away in the comment section below. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Make sure you go ahead and follow him and me at the links above in order to get entered into this competition to get the free hoodie.
Free hoodie and mustache ride by yours truly.
Well, I think that's maybe what the hoodie is going to say now. It might just say mustache.
Mustache
It might
ride.
just have a mustache on it and say
Who
mustache
knows
ride.
though? I mean, I guess they're gonna have to do this just to even find out.
Anyways, like and subscribe. Love you guys.
Subscribe. Peace.
All I know is win.